Hello to my freedom-loving friends. In this presentation, I will show you that the IRS, the enemy of you, the American people, is so overwhelmed and broken that guess what, everybody? They aren't hardly using force to come after the American people to make you even poorer. That's good news that they cannot make you a slave anymore because they're so destroyed as an entity that love the good news how you can legally and safely have yourself be free and prosperous once again, because you see the law and reality of the IRS's lazy incompetence literally falling apart. So let's go show the good news to you. If you've not been to Freedom Law School's website, that's where you will find freedom. Go to freedomlawschool.org to free yourself of IRS deception, which leads to fear. With that fear, they enslave and rob you. All that will be done at freedomlawschool.org. Let's go to the presentation right now. Here is this person, for example, account transcript. You get these printouts from the IRS about 1040. This person has that the IRS gives to people. If you ask them, they'll give it to you. And shows this person that made a request from the IRS on May 8, 2026, okay? And in this case, they're asking for the year 2023. 12/31/23 is basically 2023 year, okay, on the right side, okay? Now, in this case, what happened to this person? Guess what? They say this person was filing status was single. Look at the highlighted areas, folks. And their adjusted gross income was how much? $687,000. No chump change, right? Okay. And the tax per the 1040 income tax confession slavery form is $145,000. Okay. Now, in this case, again, it shows right here the same thing here. Tax return filed and $145,000 owed. Look, there's only that was happening what? May 26, 2025, right? So this is May 2026, a year later, a whole year later, in May 2026, and guess what? This was May 2025 that this person filed the tax return of owing the IRS $145,000. And guess what? The IRS, not long later, just 4 months later, less than 4 months later, on September 2025, zeroed out the amount. Okay, in other words, tax period blocked from automated levy program. That means they will not come after this person, at all. That's what zero is. Imagine, you owe the IRS over $100,000, and IRS says, leave the guy alone. Don't try to levy his bank account, paycheck, commissions, any third party paying him money. Just block it. That's how bad the IRS situation is. Now, this is not the only year this guy got this. The same person got another letter from the IRS, okay, on the same May 8, 2026, okay? And this is about the year 2024, okay? Now here, as we go down to the next, scroll down, you see that, again, this person claimed to the IRS adjusted gross income of almost $500,000, $477,000 as a single man. And the tax return was filed that shows this person owes the IRS about $111,000. And yet, the IRS comes and just, even though it was November 2025, the person filed the tax return, the IRS blocked itself from the automatically levy his property. Automated levy program blocked. Okay? Just a few months later, February 2026. Yep. Why? Why would the IRS block themselves? They blocked themselves from taking money of somebody who owes the IRS over $100,000 again and again and again. Does it make any sense? Here, look at this one. This is the same person this is the same. No, this is a different person. Now, this is a different situation. Now, that's on collections. This is on collection due process hearings. When you challenge the IRS, and you have a right to challenge them, when you get a notice deficiency or a collection due process hearing, and you should ask for a hearing, exercise your rights under the law. You should challenge the IRS by going to U.S. tax court. Yes. So this person, in this case, in the January of 2026, on the top you see, okay, and they got a letter from the IRS, okay, and they said, we are forwarding, let me show you a little bit better here, okay, they said, we are forwarding your request for a collection due process hearing to IRS Independent Office of Appeals. That office will contact you within 30 days. Okay, but look at the second paragraph. Okay, July, they said, we received your letter requesting a hearing on July 30th, 2025. July 30, 2025, yet even a simpler acknowledgement, letter like that was sent out January 6th. That's over on the top right of the letter, right? That's about what? 5 months later? Yeah, the IRS is that slow to send a simple form automated letter. That is all this letter is. It's a form letter. Nobody sat down to even respond, to it by hand. He would just send out the dumb computer-generated letter, and it took him all this time, over 5 months, to do that. Here's another letter. This person, August 22, 2025. Okay? And this is about some civil penalties they claim this person owes for 2020 year. Okay? Now here, they're saying that we received your letter that was dated June 2nd, 2025. June 2nd, 2025. And here responding, right? August 22nd, 2025. That's 3 months, just a simple letter that, hey, we got your letter, and by the way, we'll get back with you within 30 days. Okay. This is how slow the IRS is. They cannot get back to people quickly because they're overwhelmed, incompetent, lazy, disorganized, and irresponsible. That's why they stop coming after people with, or in the IRS, over $200,000, and they just block themselves from coming after people. You found out why. They don't come after people who owe them hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay, I'll show you in just a minute how good it is, the news, and why it's like that. Okay, at our website, freedomlawschool.org, you can go to our step 3 at freedomlawschool.org of the 7 steps to free yourself out of the IRS. Step 3 has this chart in there. Okay, this chart is from the U.S. Tax-Free Advocate Service. They're the ones that got this chart to us. Thank you. Page 194. This is how much liens, levies, IRS has been doing all these different years. Okay, the top line is the one that matters. This is the one that's dark blue. For year 2010, 2011, it was pretty high, about 3.6, 3.7 million. Okay, and now look at how it goes down to year 2021 to about 300,000. Yes, it crashes from 2011 from 3.7 million to less than 10% in 2021 at the bottom to 365,000. We got to fix this thing not working right. Okay. Okay. So now that's not something temporary. It's a long-term trend. IRS has crashed. Forced collections of bank account paychecks. And Americans' property has gone down by over 90%. That's pretty bad. 10% is bad. 40% is bad. 60% is bad. It's over 90%. And this trend of IRS being in a state of confusion and incompetence is continuing. They have not made a comeback. This is the newest report from Tax Advocate, showing the same thing. The line, the blue line on the top left, okay, that's levies, taking people's bank account paychecks. Look, from year 2010 has gone down on the top left, down to bottom right, to 2024. See how it's crashed in the 2020-21 I showed you? It's about the same. It's still at the very bottom, over 90% drop compared to what it was back in 2010 and 11. So this is not something new. It's the new IRS. The weak, incompetent, lazy, breaking down IRS. Okay? So if you go to our website, fear-mongering.org, you'll see that based on U.S. government's official legal websites, no law requires 99% of Americans to file and pay income and payroll taxes. And you can start 7 easy steps to regain your power and freedom, okay? That's where you want to go. When you click on that and you go to the first step, step 1, okay, is right here. Follow the law. That's right. Based upon official legal websites of U.S. government, no law requires 99% of Americans to file and pay income taxes. I know that sounds crazy. Sounds like you're ridiculous. No, it's what? Based upon laws published by U.S. Congress. U.S. Treasury regulations. IRS's 1040 income tax form and instructions, and U.S. Supreme Court decisions. That's it. You see the 10 minutes in this short video. That's when you start. You'll see it all for yourself. You want to stop, put the rope around your neck, okay? Don't do that, folks, because that's IRS get the power to hurt you because you signed those 1040 forms. You claim that you owe the IRS money, okay? And then you got to recognize that, you know, IRS is a big Wizard of Oz. They're running on 1960s computers still, yes. The IRS's mainframe computer, the headquarters of over 100 computers that are not connected to each other. That's right, they're not connected to each other. They're all standalone, separate systems across America. They're running on 1960s assembly language COBOL still, which I took in 1980s in 1980 in California. That's how bad their situation, their shape is, okay? And then now we can start deprogramming yourself of the lies, okay? You don't need to be afraid of the IRS, the stress, they tell you to file early, you know, make yourself a slave. All that brainwashing you can get rid of by simply going to our website and realize the deception in step 3, okay? You go in there, step 3, and see it all for yourself. The IRS is really a weakling. They're absolutely weak and cannot handle coming after large numbers of people. Here it is in step 3, okay? We're going to see a video about the IRS, how they're falling apart, okay? It's all, you go see all this stuff more there. And you don't have to pay tribute to the IRS beast. No, 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 no. You don't need to be a slave. All you have to do is very simple, okay? Okay? And you just got to question authority. Write petitions to the IRS that we have on our website for free that, hey, here's a law quoted from U.S. government's official legal websites, Congress of the United States, U.S. Treasury regulations, the Constitution, and the Supreme Court. If I'm wrong, show me. I will pay my fair share of taxes to you. But guess what? They never do that. Okay? Because they can't. the people of the 59 states are not required to file income tax. People are citizens and residents of Washington, D.C. The District of Columbia, they have to file income taxes. Not you, the people of the 50 states. They use the term United States. You think it means the 50 states people like you and me? No, it means citizens and residents of Washington, D.C. So just do that for yourself. It's free at freedomlawschool.org and send it out and see what answers you get. They cannot refute you at all, okay? And then you want to get some confidence. If you look at the reality of the IRS, being a lizard without any power, not the Godzilla they make him out to be in the media, and you see that none of our students have ever gone to prison. Nobody that comes to me clean, stop filing and paying income tax with Freedom Law School and stayed with Freedom Law School, not filing and paying income tax, has ever gone to prison for not filing or paying federal income taxes, or going to, or IRS has taken, or neither does the IRS take in a bank account, paycheck, or property. Period. So you gotta just do it the right way, and you can be free. It is really that simple. Okay, and if you want, you have an option of working with like-minded freedom seekers like yourself and protect each other. You could do it for free on your own at freedomlawschool.org. Why? Because 99+% of Americans who don't file a 1040 tax form are protected from the IRS. Leave them alone. There's 80+ million non-filers out there. I know that seems like incredible to you that there's that many non-filers, but there is that many non-filers. I'm going to prove that to you because that's a shocking thing, okay? You have a letter right here on our website, okay? Here, see the proof here. This letter, okay, it shows you it's not coming up for some reason, guys, okay? Our website's off, okay? That there's about 63 million Americans back in 1996 who did not file income taxes. And that number now, because of the population growth, has gone up now to over 80 million Americans who do not file or pay any federal income taxes. And again, that's based on IRS's own best estimate that they have. Not my numbers, their own best estimates. Right now, for some reason, our website is not working, but we're going to have this problem fixed. Okay, by later tonight, go to freedomlawschool.org to step 3, and you see this stuff over here. The letter just came up. Here we go. Here it is, the letter, okay? All right, let's look at it together, okay? September 1998, this letter was written to somebody in Portland, Oregon. In paragraph 2, this letter sent on behalf of Charles Roll Rosati, Commissioner of the Internal Revenue Service. Based on our 1996 tax filing program, we estimate there are approximately 63 million Americans who have not filed a tax return and initially would appear to have a legal requirement to file. Yep, 63 million, folks. Is there 63 million people in prison for not filing tax returns? No. 63 million people in prison for not filing tax returns? No. So what is this idea they put in your head that if you don't file pay income tax, you're going to go to prison? It's all a myth, a lie, okay? Because IRS is weak, okay? So, and this estimate is based upon the data available to the IRS on the individual master file, okay? They have this estimate based upon the W-2s and 1099 forms who third parties have sent to the IRS. So it doesn't matter that you work for a company that sent a W-2 to the IRS about you. No. Does it matter you work for somebody and they sent 1099 about you, that you did some work for them, commission or something else, or payments to you? No. How about the K1 partnership forms? No, it doesn't matter. They're such a broken agency. So you can be alone. You can be left alone by the IRS. It's very simple. On your own if you want to, or if you want to, you can, do it by joining our Restore Freedom Plan as an option to work together like America's founding fathers. Yes, that is an option available by holding hands together, and that way you can be completely protected from the IRS attacks. 100%. Okay? No matter what happens, we give you unlimited consultation, unlimited help. Legal stuff will be done. Charges will be paid by us, not you. You will not go to prison. And if they take your money anyway by force, 10,000, 10 million or more, doesn't matter. Out of our funds, we will reimburse you fully. So you have no risk whatsoever. Okay? So that's all optional to you to be free. You can tell others about us. We have to pay you for telling others. But I got a little bonus round for you. This is, I told you IRS has over 100 different computers that don't talk to each other. They're just completely separate. They're not organized. They're not watching you like a god and coming after you. Hear it from this guy, Doge argued with Elon Musk, who, when Trump became president, and the IRS asked him to come and help him out to become more efficient, better at work. Look at what he says in just a short clip. You'll be surprised. Here we go. Let's hear now from this person. This was a Doge government efficiency temporary agent, people that were there with Elon Musk to cut the waste in federal government. One of these guys was asked to come and help with the IRS, and that is him. His name is Sam Korkos. And here's a couple clips we're going to show you tonight on what he discovered there, which will blow you away about IRS's incompetence, how they're literally from within falling apart of incompetence. Here we go.
In the IRS, like the compliance team told me early on, they really need help with their software systems. They said we have at least 60 different systems that do not communicate with each other at all.
Can you believe that? The division of the IRS that wants to keep you as a slave when you file tax returns, they have 60 different computer systems at least that they don't talk to each other. Or you're thinking IRS is this God, monster that sees all, that knows all, because your employer sent the IRS a W-2 form about what you made. Or somebody you work for as an independent contractor sent a 1099 form about how much they paid you to the IRS. None of that stuff matters. These guys are in trouble. Listen to more of what he has to say.
I assume this was an exaggeration. I spent 2 full days now at the compliance facility.
He thought that was an exaggeration, just like you are saying. What? IRS is everybody knows powerful. They get you, put you in jail, take everything you got. What do you mean? IRS, the powerful, evil empire, right? Well, let's see what more he's got to say about the IRS.
Just watching how these systems work, they are, if anything, they're underestimating how many of these systems there are. In software, when you're building these types of systems, one of the just core principles is you want to have a single source of truth for any piece of data. This is foundational. Sometimes you might have 2 sources of truth if you're doing like a really messy migration, or you have some caching layer and you're kind of balancing those 2. But really, 1 is the goal. As of the last count, which I think is last week, the IRS has about 108 competing sources of truth. I'm not talking about data sources. This is like the most complex Rube Goldberg I've ever seen in my life in the IRS.
Yep. IRS has 108. So, yes, 108 sources of truth. Okay? That's just crazy. Okay? So you have to be afraid, guys. You can be free. It's all up to you. Just educate yourself. See, it was no accident that you came across this video. You were meant to be free. You were meant to regain your freedom by coming across Freedom Law School, our videos, and our website, freedomlawschool.org. So don't lose this chance to free yourself. Get our website on your smartphone as you drive around to work and back. watch the road and listen to our videos to educate and free you on our website. There's 7 easy, simple steps at freedomlawschool.org. Then at lunch, at work, and dinner at home, play it again one more time. This time, watch it as you listen once again and know this is all for real, the truth, what you're hearing, and you can be free just like me. Text it to your friends on our website. Email to them. Call us. We'll mail you for free our Restore Freedom brochure or Fast Track Your Success brochure. Either one of them are for free. Yes, because they both show you, okay, that no law requires 99% of Americans to file and pay income or payroll taxes. $50,000 reward if you can show me wrong. There's only 10 pages of law in here. That's it. Very simple, big print. Okay, if you put your name down here and phone number, we can pay you. That's right, for referring people to us. Easy to read, folks. Okay, it's just law. So get out there, have some fun, be free. Inflation is hurting people. Majority of Americans are in debt to their credit cards, paying 20 to 30% slavery interest to credit card companies. Why? Because they're letting the employer take the money, from them illegally. Okay. Well, if you go to our website, could you bring our page out on withholding, please? Okay. If you go to our website, freedomlawschool.org, there's a page there how you can stop your employer from stealing income taxes from your paycheck. There, we have the form in there, especially done right for you to give it to your employer. If you're self-employed, you work for yourself, independent contractors, guess what? For you, it's easy as heck. Just stop sending the IRS quarterly estimated payments and don't file income tax returns. That's it. So here, go to our website. Here it is. I'll go on the right, on the top, okay, top center left, the right area. Free yourself from withholding. Click on that on the third line right here, and you get this page, okay? Free yourself from withholding. The videos on it, instructions, paperwork, it's all there. Step by step easy. If you have any questions, call us at 813-444-4800. We'll be happy to answer your questions for free. With that, I give you guys my love and I wish the best for you because I am free. I haven't filed income tax for over 30 years, legally, safely. IRS knows me. They challenged me. We've been in court. I've beaten them more than once. And you can be free too if you just learn about law and your rights made easy at freedomlawschool.org. So do yourself a favor. Educate yourself to freedom at freedomlawschool.org now. Okay, folks. Now we're going to go to your questions, answer questions, okay? Some of you have sent, one person has sent the questions by email, which I can do if you send any questions you have up to 10 pages. I will review them for free, okay? Add the freedom hours, okay, no problem, okay? But the rest of you can call in, and I'm happy to answer questions one person at a time. The number to call is on the screen, 424-552-1299. Press 1 on your telephone keypad. Call 424-552-1299 and press 1 on your telephone keypad. And I'll take your questions one person at a time. Okay. Now the first call we have is from area code 470. And I'm sorry. Yes, 470. Next call is from area code 702. The next one from area code 406. So 470 area code caller, please give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Yeah, I heard about Freedom Law School a long time ago. My name's Khalil, and I gave someone my personal information for the purpose of attracting funding for my business. And he gave my information to a tax preparer who prepared a return without my consent or knowledge. When I objected, he said, "Don't worry, it won't be filed." That was 4 months ago. However, 2 weeks ago, I received a letter from the IRS stating that I owed them for 2025. And the numbers lined up on what this person produced on this 1040 return. Now, the preparer said that it never should have been filed and that she was going to do some sort of adverse action, but her phone is disconnected and she's not answering me. So, again, I never made any consent to this being prepared, and I did not sign any sort of e-sign consent form, but I can't reach the tax preparer anymore, so I don't know what to do to, get this rectified.
First of all, how do you spell your name, my friend?
Khalil, Khalil.
Okay, Khalil. You never, in a written form, give her permission to file a tax return for you?
Right, I never signed any sort of e-sign consent form or anything.
Then you are fine, my friend. Eventually, when it goes to collection due process hearing stage, guess what? You can say, I didn't file a tax return. They say, oh, yes, you did. You say, no, I did not. Where's the copy of the tax return? They'll have to produce it. Then you say, where's my signature? They say, oh, this accountant filed one for you, or this person. You say, well, that's not me. And they say, well, didn't you give the person permission because this person is an accountant or CPA? And you say, nope. So guess what? The IRS will fall flat, have to zero out everything. You'll be just fine, Khalil. Okay?
Okay.
Any other questions?
Should I call their fraud department and tell them I didn't do it, or no?
You don't need to do that, my friend. IRS cannot take any of your assets, your bank account, paycheck, commissions, anything you own, without first giving you a collection due process hearing, in which at that stage, at the collection due process hearing, you can challenge the IRS's collection action as being void from the beginning because you never signed the 1040 confession form telling the IRS you owe the money. Okay, so wait for that letter. It will come to you by certified mail to your last known address. Make sure you give IRS your last known address. Okay, so because if you haven't filed for a long time, they may have your old address. Write them a certified letter. You give them your new address. Okay, and to keep a certified slip and the copy of the letter in your files as proof. So that you send it your address. And then eventually you will get that collection due process hearing letter. You'll challenge them and they'll lose. Or after 10 years, from the time they assess the tax, it'll go away. After 10 years, it expires. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, sir, thank you.
My pleasure, Khalil. Okay? All right, let's go now to the 702 area code caller. 702 area code caller, please give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please. Are you there? Call from area code 702. You are next. You're not there? Okay. 702 area code caller is not there. Then in that case, we're going to go to a different caller. We're going to go to a call from area code 406. 406 area code caller. Please give me your first name.
Hi.
How you heard about Freedom Law School,
Hi,
and then your question, please.
Yes, my name is Jeremy, and you and I spoke about a month ago, live on the show, and I was the one that was worried about submitting a before to my work, going tax exempt. Well, I finally worked up the courage this morning to do it. And the young lady in HR, the generalist, she submitted it
Speak up. I can barely hear you, Jeremy. Go ahead, get close to the microphone, please. Everybody can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I spoke with the HR generalist this morning because when she made the change in the HR payroll system, the company that I work for uses UKG. And when I'm filling out this form online, it has two questions that I basically have to lie about I call it an electronic entrapment forced false confession trap. Asking, are your paychecks subject to federal income tax? And telling you the two criteria that you can use to say no, which being last year no federal income taxes were withheld from my paycheck, and this year no federal taxes should be withheld from my paycheck. Mm-hmm. So I selected no on that. The second one is step one, personal information filing status. Single or married, filing separately, married, filing jointly or qualifying surviving spouse, or head of household. And there's no option to select other or move on into the form before you put a dot next to both of these. So I did that. I selected single, married, filing separately. And then I found a place where I might be able to upload, my W-4 that I downloaded from you. And I submitted it. And then got a reply back later that it was submitted as blocking my taxes.
Hold on.
So
I need to ask you a question. You couldn't. The form doesn't allow you online to do exempt.
No, it won't let me. It won't let me fill in any of the information. It won't let me check the box to be exempt.
Okay. Then what you can do, you can put a large number like 50 or some large number. That stops income tax withholding, right? That will stop that. Okay. And then you write them a letter, as we show on our website. The paper, you mail them the paper proper W-4 that we have, all that, and explain why you did what you did, because the dumb, stupid computer would not let you do that. Put the exempt on there, and then. But either way, whenever you deal with the computer stuff, doesn't matter what they do. Just do whatever you have to stop the income tax withholding, because the computer boxed you in. They try you around. Yep. They try to shove you in a square peg or triangle peg. It doesn't work. Yep. But you do it as best you can. Then you'll write them a letter, explain everything, that you did that by force because your choice. Okay? And a certified letter by mail will explain everything. That's the main thing, and you're fine.
I did that. Yesterday, I sent the certified mail of the W-4 with the addendum and the cover sheet.
Okay.
That I downloaded from your website.
Okay.
And I explained that to the young lady. And
that was your problem right there.
Also
Stop. I think I know about you. You did that. That was the worst move you could have done. Okay. Why are you having a conversation with a low intelligence clerk about this? Because that's the problem. There was no need. Just mail it to them, to the Human Resource Department, let them process it for the record. You're not there trying to convert this lady, educate her, because she's low intelligence probably. Her job is just to process paperwork. It's just a job to her, J-O-B. She doesn't have enough legal reading, writing skills to understand the stuff very likely, and you just see what the problem you got. You created the problem yourself because you didn't follow our instructions to mail it to them, and so you send it to somebody that you talk to. The purpose of the mailing is to have it in your record of the company in case something comes up. You already try to clarify it for them in writing. Okay? Now, if they write you at that level, fine, but at that level, it should come up from higher up, like lawyer you can talk to. But here, a low education person, that the clerical department, you got yourself an argument now. So I don't know how to get you out of this problem without on this call for free, because you created a mess by not following instruction. You mail it, certified mail to the headquarters, not the local girl. Discuss it with her. She says, I don't know about that. Let me talk about supervisor. Now the supervisor looks at it and says, that is weird. I never seen that. Nah, forget it. Lock his account. He's doing some funny business. Okay? So you want to become a Restore Freedom Plan member, so we make sure you do this stuff all properly and get you out of this mess that you created for yourself, my friend. I'm sorry. There's no easy answer, I can tell you, because you're in the thick of the battle. And without seeing any paperwork, without having a detailed conversation with you, but what happened, A, B, C, D, between you and her, all this stuff, to think about, let's see now. what's the custom response based on your situation, what you on your own have already done to solve it. Like a doctor. You come to a doctor, I got these problems, but I found out as a doctor, oh, you done this, that, the other on your own, and now you want me, the doctor, to fix it for you? You have a problem that you created yourself? I don't know. But as a Restore Freedom Plan member, we make sure you do it right. That's why, everybody, you need to follow our instructions correctly and accurately, okay? Okay? We say what? Mail immediately this stuff by certified mail. When certified mail, there's nobody going to see you, talk to you. Did you mail it to them as I asked you to?
Yes, I did. Yesterday.
Oh, wait a minute. You said that yesterday this woman talked to you. Wait a minute. You said you talked to a woman already, but you already talked to her ahead of time and gave it to her, then you mailed her. So you did it in the wrong order. You don't even get to know.
I mailed it.
Then how did they block you?
I filled out the electronic form online in the HR portal, and then I went to the post office later and I mailed that certified letter to them. And then I asked her some questions this morning. Why couldn't I upload this myself? And what is the difference between my taxes being blocked and exempt?
Hold on. Hold on. I don't have a paperwork to see what you got going on. And can I take your characterization as being accurate? I need to clarify that you're actually accurate in what you're describing. What did you put on the form online? What did you check, actually? What did you end up doing?
So I had to select no.
No to what? What's the question you give me no to? Please be detailed and accurate. Don't make me ask you 50 questions.
So the question is are your paychecks subject to federal income tax? I selected no.
Okay.
And then I selected single married filed so I could get to the actual form.
Okay.
Because they load these questions before you can even see the form.
Okay, and then what? Then what'd you do?
And then I uploaded the W-4 that I had filled out from your website.
Does it let you do that? Does it allow you to upload another form? Because usually they don't do that. Usually you fill out their form on the computer.
It made it appear as though I was able to, but when I asked her this morning if there was a separate form attached to the W-4 that I had filled out online, she said no.
I don't understand what you're saying. Listen, this is too much, too complex. I need you to send me pictures of what you got. Okay? I don't know what you did. I cannot see it. Without seeing it, I'm going to give you wrong instructions, okay? So you'll need to do a paid consultation with one of my people to go over that with you. That's probably your best way to go. Okay, because I don't know exactly what you did. What is UKG program? I don't know what the heck that is, guys. There's tons of programs out there. That doesn't mean nothing if you tell me UKG. I mean, one of my people needs to see exactly what you've done, and step by step, write in a piece of paper what you did, clean it, boom, 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 boom. Any pictures you can send me, that's great. Maybe go through the process again, take some pictures of here's what the computer did, A first, and then B, and then C, here's what I did. Because I got to see what you did not do. Here's what I mailed this person. Here's what this person told me by email or in person. All that, we got to do that right to us. Okay, and then we can help you out. Okay, so what you want to do is on our website, Get Help on the top left. Okay, when you click on that, okay, website a little slow today for some reason. No, it's not coming. Here, what you want to do under consultation, you have the call option. Okay, click on or open order form. You click on that. And your least expensive ways to do is talk to one of my specialists that I've trained myself personally, okay, for a half hour. Private consultation is only $175, okay? You probably want to do that.
Okay.
You get a 1 hour would be $300, but you probably don't need that. But you gave us a complete copy of every document paper as much as you can, with as much of a complete A, B, C, D, E, F, G, step by step. That way we can get on half hour inexpensively for you, my friend, and help you, do everything to fix the situation you're in. All right, Jeremy?
I'm sitting here holding a printout of everything I did today, so I'm ready.
Very good. All right. Any other questions, Jeremy?
That's all. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome, my friend. My pleasure. All right, we have several more callers waiting to get the questions answered. Area code 310. Area code call from area code 941. And then we have another call from after that from area code 317. So 310 area code caller, please give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please. Are you there, area code 310 caller?
Is that me?
Yep, it's you.
Oh, okay, great. Hey, Paimon, I've known about you for over 100 years. I used to see you down in Orange County, and I think you were with Lynn Meredith at that time.
I was friends with her, but not with her. What's your name?
Sorry, I probably stepped out. My name's John.
All right. So you knew me from those. Did you come to my classes, John? Out in my apartment?
I did a long time ago, yeah. But I'm not a real big follower of any of the IRS anyway, so I participate, but anyway. What's going on is there a possibility that I can get a letter that says that I don't need to file from the IRS? Is there some form that I can send in and they go, Mr. Lambertson, you're no longer necessary?
No, I'm sorry. I have no such magic wand.
All right. Well, so I want to sell my house. I live in Venice. My wife is terrified. She thinks I'm nuts, just nuts. And I was wondering, if I want to keep all those capital gains, do I need to, she's on the deed, do I need to have her, she says she won't remove herself from the deed until we get a divorce. And then if everything works out, I suppose, and my plan works, I guess we get married again. So what do you think about that scheme?
Why do you need any of these games at all? Just sell the house. Why all this
great.
games
Sell the house,
necessary at all? I don't get it.
She loves the IRS. She's all hot for the IRS, and she wants to pay the IRS.
Okay, if that's her house, she can pay income tax or not.
It's my house. We got married later on. I'd already owned it, but we filed jointly, and I won't even say how much she pays the accountant guy. It's disgusting, and I just kind of go along with it because
John, whose name is the house in?
Both.
Okay, so you're both owners. Okay, how much equity you have in the house after you sell it, approximately?
Maybe $3 million.
How much? $3 million?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then she can file income tax under $1.5 million, and you don't own another $1.5 million. It's that simple.
Yeah, but fuck that. I don't want, I built the house. Why should I give up that $1.5 million for her to go pay some bogus agency?
Because,
by the way, can I swear?
That's
can
not,
I swear
you are not. You are not. That's not correct. Legally, that is, half of it is hers, not yours. She can do what she wants to her money, give it to some homeless person, neighbor across the street, or the IRS. That's up to her. Your $1.5 million is yours. Her $1.5 million is hers. The problem is your wife. You have to educate her. What I suggest you do is you wine and dine her. Okay? You wine and dine her. Nice dinner. Get it from being at home. Wine.
Oh, my gosh.
And afterwards have her watch our videos. Otherwise...
No, that...
then you... Sorry, I'm not answering for you.
Hey, man, we're not in the state of whining and dining right now. It's not even close to that, man.
Then I'm not answering for you. Sorry, I'm not a psychologist.
Well, she said that if we got a divorce, suppose I got a divorce and it takes 6 months, after that amount of time, she would sign the deed over to me quitclaim.
Okay. All right.
And then she can go file her taxes from whatever she wants to say that she earned, and then the whole house is my responsibility.
Okay.
And I sold the house, and those capital gains I'm not paying to the IRS.
Okay, that sounds fine with me. I have no problem with that. Your problem looks like it's solved. Then
In the order of events, Payman, if that problem was solved, because your initial idea was split it with her, and she always tells me,
I didn't know that's what she wants. I didn't know she wants to give it all to you, okay, and you sell it, and then later on you give it back her half. That's fine. I didn't know about that. That's okay. If she wants to do that, and it's okay with you too, why not?
Right. Now I have another question, and thank you for your knowledge. There's a chance I'm going to sell my house and move to Europe. And Europe has goofy tax things, and they take a certain amount of money that you either have an account or you get in Social Security, and they take a percentage of it, depending on what percentage that is. Do you have an advisor that can tell me, because I know the U.S. is very unique in the way we tax, and these other countries are probably not?
I'm not an international income tax law expert.
Do you know anyone you can recommend that I can talk to that is like-minded like you and me, more so you, where I go, look at, man, I want to pay like hardly any.
No, I don't know anybody like that. And, there's very, very few people like that out there. Okay, what country you want to go to? Spain. Okay, well, if in Spain, you got to pay Spanish taxes. It's that simple. If you go to Russia, you got to pay Russian taxes. I know. So, I'm sorry, the countries have laws. They can tax you. They can tax you. So don't go to Spain. Go to a country that doesn't have a state income tax.
I already bought a farm out there.
Sell it.
No, it's probably... Well, that's a possibility. Well, so like when you go to Iran, is it you're getting nailed for taxes over there too, right?
I go to Iran as a visitor. I don't go there and make.
But I know. Suppose you moved back there, you'd be responsible. Yes.
If there, I don't know about Iranian income tax laws.
I see. Yeah. Well. Okay. Well, I guess you kind of answered my questions. I was very hopeful that you'd say, "Oh yeah, you're going to get a letter from the IRS saying you're no longer responsible. There's zero. Leave us alone," type thing.
No, you don't have to do that. The IRS will not, based upon what your wife proposed that you're telling me about, the IRS will never come after her at all. That's all it is. If they come after you, it would be you. By the way, if you do that and you join our Restore Freedom Plan, we make sure that, and stay as a Restore Freedom Plan, that the escrow company will not issue a false 1099 form to the IRS about the sale of your home. There's no 1099s.
And if I wanted to go the other way, Payman, and I go, okay, Charlotte, her name's Charlotte, I go, Charlotte, you're on the deed, it's 50-50, which was her idea, and I was like, fine, because I don't really believe in getting divorced. You can have suppose we made 1.3, and you can have your 1.5 and do your taxes on it. I'll take the 1.5, and I'm going to separate myself, with the plan that you instruct.
I didn't instruct you on any plans. I just told you.
You know what? I'm probably wording it the wrong way.
Is okay. No, I didn't instruct you anything. Your wife said, according to you, she says, "Hey, let me give the house to you after divorce 6 months later. You sell it. You be responsible for the taxes." That's all you told me.
Correct. But if she starts going into a heart attack, I'll go, hold on. We file separately, or what? Do I even file separately, and she just files for half of the equity?
If the house that's transferred to you belongs to you, then it's your problem.
No. Wait a minute. If it's not transferred, and we sell the house, and it's a 50-50 split on the equity, and she decides that she's going to pay taxes on it, and I decide I'm not going to pay taxes on mine,
okay,
that's another possibility.
That's fine. You can do that if you want to.
And how do I do that?
It's very simple. She files a 1040 tax confession form. You don't. Simple.
And that's it.
That's it.
Okay. And I suppose it's whatever that figure is, you just split it right down the middle, and it's equal. So if it's $3 million, it's 1.5 type thing.
That's it.
All right. All right. So should I fly out to Florida and hang out with you?
Why do you want to hang out with me for? Listen,
well,
on that one, all you gotta do now, I suggest you consider joining a Restore Freedom plan, and we write to the escrow company to not to 1099 either you or her, because that is a wrong form. They're not supposed to send anything up to the IRS about that sale. They're not.
Oh, no shit. So like the house is sold and I don't do anything. And then you can handle dealing with the escrow withholding problem.
That means that you need to join our Restore Freedom plan, and you need to put me in touch with the escrow company. Actually, not me, but give me the paperwork that they use to 1099 you, because they do it the wrong way, because they're not supposed to do it at all for you. And I'll tell them why a 1099 form is the wrong thing. They should not send any 1099 about you or your wife to the IRS, period. Because the law doesn't say they should do it. In fact, they're breaking the law when they do that.
Got it. No, I've watched your videos. Well, and also, if I can convince her that, what this truthful, lawful technique is, then she should not file for shit, and we both don't file, and we do whatever we need to do to, if you don't file, I assume they send you something.
No, you don't. Your assumption's wrong.
I don't file, and the rest of my life I get nothing.
99%, yes. Less than 1%, you might get something.
No shit. Like 99%, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
but, I love what you say, that they're completely floundering and they don't have any organization and they're falling apart. Mm-hmm. And I've heard you say that it's like the Berlin Wall and it's going to fall.
That's right. They're imploding from within, just like the Soviet Union collapsed. And you're old enough like me to remember, none of us thought in the 1970s or 80s that this empire of brutality will fall apart from within. But it did.
Yeah.
And the IRS is going the same process. I'm here to expedite it.
Just throwing this out, do you have any idea when that might happen, or you no idea?
Depends on how successful Freedom Law School is.
Say that again, please.
It depends on how successful Freedom Law School is. I can expedite it, but I don't have a date for you.
Good for you. Good for you. All right. Well, Payman, super helpful. Very grateful.
You are.
And also, I can do a consultation with you. How much was the half hour?
Half hour, 600, 1,000 for 1 hour.
Oh, I see. Well, so would you recommend, because I'm a little bit of a scattered on all this, should I talk to you or just do it and just don't file and that's it?
Well, apparently you're not a poor man anymore. You're not young or poor anymore, John. I think you can afford it.
Well, you know what? I might be poor because I bought something at the hardware store that should have cost 10 cents last week, and it was just under $10. So when I sell my house, I'm just going to have a bunch of paper that might as well be dirty underwear. And it makes me furious, frankly. Dollars have no value, and
I can't make that decision for you, my friend. If you want to make sure this gets done right, you have a farm in Spain, you have a house in Venice, California, over $3 million equity in there. You want to spend a little bit of that to get for sure answers in a private consultation, that option is available to you. If you don't want to do it, that's your decision as well.
I'm going to compliment you on being a good listener, Payman. Anyway, I'm very grateful, and I remember meeting Joe Bannister and Mr. Griffith, and I think what you're doing is fantastic.
Thank you. All right, my friend.
I called up the other day and they said you had 30 employees. That's fantastic.
We're growing. We're growing. We're going to take America back, my friend. I've been at it, as you know, over 30 years. When you were in my living room in Tustin, California, just educating myself about this stuff. And it was all black hair here, right? And
hey, man.
After decades,
I remember you had jet black hair, man.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. Yes, those days are gone.
All right. Well, you got more personality. You got a lot of personality, kid.
Thank
all right.
You,
so
appreciate you.
Maybe I can put a hook around her neck and have her listen to some of this, but she seems to know everything, and it's kind of rough.
Look, you gotta treat your wife the way she loves to be treated, and say, "Would you please make sure watch this for me? I want to make sure we do things right. I don't want any problem with the law." And I found the source where these people are sticklers for the law, because accountant, CPAs, attorneys make mistakes. I want no risk. This place says we're going to go with the law on government's official legal websites. And I like that, because I want to follow the law as the government's websites to make sure it's done right. I want to sleep easy. Let's sit down with me and watch it together. Okay?
Hey, man. You know what? Maybe I could coerce her into a half hour listening with you.
Okay.
All right.
Step one starts with a 10-minute video. Start with that.
Well, you got a lot of videos, bro. But I will.
Go to our website. Take just 7 easy steps to free yourself of the IRS deception, okay, and fear and robbery. That's where you want to go, okay.
Well, I was watching one where it was really it was so clear. You had a form and you showed it was a yellow underline, and it says, "Look, a U.S. citizen is not. You are not. You're a state citizen," and it's quite clear, really.
Okay. Then you're good, my friend. Anything else, John, before I go to the next caller, my friend?
All right. Thank you, my friend.
You're welcome, John. Good to hear from you after 30 years, my friend. Long time.
Bye, everyone.
Literally 30 years ago. Okay, John. Good talking to you. And get out. You did the right thing. Get out of California. Get out of there. You did a good thing. And listen, you should sell your house as soon as you can, because this inflation, stagflation we have right now ain't going into more. It's going to get worse. It's going to devastate the American people more economically. Okay, this is like Jimmy Carter days repeat. You remember late 70s under Jimmy Carter? It's going to be the same thing. So sell the house as soon as you can, my friend. That's my good advice to you, John. Okay, we have a 9401 area code caller, followed by a call from area code 317, and then a 928 area code caller also joined us. Okay, so the 9401 area code caller, please give me your first name. I heard about Freedom Law School, and then
my name's
question,
Tom.
please. Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
I'm Tom.
Tom, okay. How did you hear about Freedom Law School, Tom?
Well, I think the first time I encountered you was through Red Pill University.
All right. And how? And anything besides that, or just the only source?
Well, no, I've actually called in before on this program. So, I followed you for quite a while.
How many years?
Gosh, 3 to 5, somewhere in there. I've got to go back and look and see when I first started subscribing to Red Pill.
Okay. No problem. And how may I help you?
The previous caller, actually, that was pretty good timing. He asked a question about, isn't there a letter that you could send to get them from stop bothering you? And that's exactly why I was calling. And I did watch your videotape. I think it's a couple of years old now. You're on the subject of the revocation of election.
Yeah,
and I know you're not a fan of that, but is there any downside to doing that process, or filing for a revocation of election and basically saying, hey, when I was a kid, 16 or whatever, I was working construction and I filed an income tax return, but I choose now to get out of that system?
There is a downside potentially in that you're relying on baseless legal theory, which is plain wrong. And so down the road, if they come after you criminally, that's your defense. And the defense is wrong and doesn't make sense. You never chose to be or elected to be a slave to now revoke that election to be a slave of the IRS. That's why. You don't undo something that you never did in the first place. So what you want to do is
actually,
Yes.
Help me understand that, because you describe the filing of the 1040 as putting a noose around your neck.
It's every year as a separate confession form you file time with the IRS. 1 year you might be a rich person and owe the IRS millions, file tax returns. Next year you're a druggie, alcoholic on a skid row, zero income, you don't file tax returns again in your life. So it's not a lifetime thing. It's every single 1040 is a confession form. Let me show on the screen. You sign a 1040 form under penalty of perjury, under oath. You say that you owe this money on the 1040 form. That's what you're doing. So you stop doing this thing, you stop it. You confess you owe the IRS 1 year at a time on line 37, amount you owe. This is the amount you owe. You put the number in there in line 37, and you owe the amount you have on there. It's that simple. It's not some crazy wacko revocation of election nonsense theory.
Well, again, let's assume for the moment that we never had an obligation to file an income tax return back when we were 16, 18, 30, whenever we started working, okay? And so if we never filed the return, then we would not be getting all these form letters telling us, hey, you didn't file your return.
Not true.
So I guess...
Not true. Not true at all. Okay? My wife never filed an income tax confession form in her lifetime. Until she married me 25 years ago. And now to harass me, they came after her also, based upon they claim, what I made based upon Bureau of Labor Statistics. Well, she never filed a tax return. How come they came after her? See, you got to stop buying the baseless legal theories you hear on there. And I'm not going to spend hours with you telling you that stuff. If you want to do the right thing, go to our website. freedomlaws.org. 10 minutes shows it to you what to do.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, I listened to your video. The whole reason why you said it was of no value was because the title on that particular section talked about joint return. However, the section, 26-1603G, if you go down,
whoa, slow down. You just threw a section under it's like I know the top of my head. Hold on. You want to argue about that? Let me see. 26 USC, what's the section?
6013. You had cited it in your video. I'm sorry. I thought you seem familiar with it.
Yeah, but I'm not a computer. Oh yeah, you just go. Okay, I gotta look it up. I don't have
That's fair.
Right?
That's
26 USC 60013. I'm looking up right now. uscode.house.gov. Joint returns, income tax by husband and wife. Oh yeah, you know what that is? As I told you on the video, here's what that is. Let's suppose you are from the District of Columbia, okay? And you have a wife from France, okay? France has very high income tax rates, okay? And she could elect to be taxed instead of in France, okay, by being married to you as a U.S. citizen in the District of Columbia, because America has a much lower tax rate. So let's suppose you do that for 2 years or 5 years, whatever, okay? And then after a while, she stops making any money from France, from within France. Her real estate she had in there that was having income from, sold it. No more real estate in France that gives her monthly rental income. So she has no more, so her income is very low in France. She says, well, you know what? Because of my very low income, I actually will pay less in France than in the District of Columbia. So in that case, she cancels her election to be taxed as if she's in the District of Columbia, and she chooses to be taxed as if she's in France. She can make that choice. That is what that revocation of election is all about. So it doesn't apply to you.
Again, if you could pull G up, which is where the citation was, it's the election to treat non-resident alien individual as a resident of the United States. Just go through there and look at how many times.
Look, I already know. I just
the term individual is used.
Listen. I'm not a computer. Remember the code section, but I remember the concepts very well. The non-resident alien is your wife from France. If you are from the District of Columbia, she is a non-resident of District of Columbia, and she's alien to the District of Columbia because she's from France. Therefore, she is a non-resident alien. That's exactly what the law is. You have the exact code section, which I did not memorize the code section. But that's exactly what that's about. It's not about somebody like you from the 50 United States, because United States in tax law does not mean the 50 states. It means the District of Columbia. You and I are both non-resident aliens with respect to District of Columbia, which is United States in tax.
That is exactly correct.
Okay.
That is exactly correct.
Right.
So as an American national, a citizen in one of the 50 states of the Union, who made a mistake to file a 1040, to turn off the administrative follow-up debt collection letters, you file the revocation of that particular election, and it is working successfully. I have a lot of colleagues who have done it and are getting the relief of no further gunning letters. And I'm just wondering, what's the downside of doing that?
The downside potentially could be that you may be picked by the IRS as one of those patriots that does want to file income tax. You say, hi, I'm one of those guys. I did this guy's method, that guy's method. I have to file income tax. Here I am. You want to target somebody to nail? I volunteer to argue with you, and you may want to pick me further to put me in prison as a patriot person. And guess what?
Yeah.
Most of them they come after you because you engaged in a conversation with them which was needless to begin with. If you want to do it, go ahead.
Well,
and I'm not
how
going to
many cases do you have that you know of where that happened?
What's that?
I said, how many verified cases are you aware of where someone did the proper revocation of election, and in fact, that invited further scrutiny and even some type of negative resistance, either letters, actions, or even a knock on the door? How many cases are you aware of where that happened?
John, what you said assumes the revocation of election is a correct theory. And I'm telling you, it is false, just like UCC argument, sovereign citizen argument, U.S. national versus U.S. citizen, state citizen argument, you name it all capital letters argument, common law versus admiralty French flag argument, naming capital letters argument, straw man argument, and on, no zip code on email argument. They're all wrong, period. Now, if you want to do it, guess what? 99+% you will be left alone anyways, because I tell you repeatedly, IRS is a broken agency. 80 million non-filers. They'll leave you alone if you simply don't file. About patriots say, aha, my system worked. I told them I'm a sovereign. They'll let me alone. That's why.
No, that's not what we're talking about.
No, they don't read your stupid letters. They don't read them. They ignore them. Vast number of time. So, but they leave
not what I'm talking about.
Anyways, you can do it if you want to. Go ahead. If you really want to do it, make sure you do it. Go ahead.
Hang on. I'll come back on and let you know how it turns out, because I've done that in response to an LT-26 letter, which is right before the levy. So I'll let you know how it turns out. My question is, though, what is the downside?
I just told you my opinion. You may disagree with me. That's fine.
I know, and then I asked you, but why do you have that opinion? How many people have gotten more attention?
Okay, I'll tell you what. As I show it on my screen, this is the letter on my screen. I have one Let's clear what these letters are. IRS sends you, can you click on that, what the letter looks like, LT26, say, please file your missing tax returns, okay? These letters that the IRS send out to you are stupid, dumb, computer-generated letters. No agent in the IRS sat down, drafted a letter to you, awaiting your response, and if you don't respond, to come after you. It's just a junk piece of mail. Why would you waste your time to respond to a junk mail credit card offer in the mail or some supermarket junk mail about discounts of the week? You can do that if you want to. It's a waste of your time.
You asked me a question, unless it was rhetorical. The answer to that is, if I can turn off the automatic debt collection.
Let me stop you right there. You said that twice. It doesn't turn off anything. That's a baseless assumption. That's an assumption which is false.
No, I've got anecdotal
evidence. You can turn it off. You don't know what the people at IRS are doing at Austin, Texas. They have your name and slave surveillance number on the computers to send out these letters by tens of thousands at a time. There's no, you can turn off the faucet. There's no faucet to turn off. Who told you that?
Rather than waiting and potentially one day having to go to tax court.
Hold on.
What's the downside to try to turn it off?
Let me go take other people's questions. I'll come back, argue with you some more.
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks for your generosity.
You want to do no problem.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got two other callers. We're not going to hang up. We're going to come back to him. He's a gentleman. You know, that's fine. But I want to get the other people that got questions. Take care of them.
Yeah, hang on.
Okay? All right. We got the 317 area code caller, then a 928 area code caller. 317 area code caller. Give me your first name, how I heard about us, and then your question, please.
Hey, Simon. How are you? This is Julia.
Hello, Julia. How did you hear about us, Julia?
Well, I've actually called in before. I've been following you for a while. I got introduced, through Joe Bannister and watching him, but then I saw you. I don't know on what podcast. Anyhow, I have a general question, which I think would be applicable to many people. It's not personal at this point. I don't want to make it personal. But the question is, tens of millions of people are facing bankruptcy now. With the inflation and everything that you discussed, I don't know if it was on the last call or the one previously, inflation, et cetera, housing prices, et cetera. In order to file bankruptcy, you must file 3 years of tax returns. I know this question is general, but for people who subscribe to that we don't owe tax returns, we don't owe money, income tax or capital gains tax or losses or any of those things, and we don't want to lie and sign these forms. Has there been any precedent, or is there any, people working on this issue where people should still be able to file bankruptcy, which is a law passed by Congress, that we can, but in order to do so, obviously we have to file tax returns and these confession forms. So this isn't really a yes or no question to you personally, Payman. It's more of a, has there been any conversation about this, or is there any precedent, or are there any legal minds working on this issue? Because I believe over the next year to 5 years, there's going to be unprecedented amounts of bankruptcy filed in this country.
Are you going to file bankruptcy? Is that you plan to file bankruptcy?
I do have a bankruptcy attorney that I hired in December, but I'm in litigation right now. And with the plaintiff, I'm a defendant, but I have the case. Plaintiff wants to settle. His own attorney has told me so.
Why do you want to go to bankruptcy court? Julia, why do you want to go to bankruptcy court?
it's a long story. I don't want to get into it.
Well, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why, because that's a complex question you're asking. Okay, a bankruptcy is a very complex laws. Okay, and I have some experience in it, by the way. Fortunately, I do have the experience in. I got the book on that. It's called
"A Crime Victim" is what has got me to this point.
I'm not going to hypotheticals, Julia. I'm not going to get to hypotheticals like that. Okay, because you're saying some things are half incorrect. And I'm not going to get into hypothetical about this, that, the other.
What's incorrect? What did I say?
You don't have to file 3 years of tax return. What the rule is, the tax return must have been filed 3 years ago. Okay, the tax you want to discharge or cancel must have been filed at least 3 years ago. Okay, so and the other rule is like 2 years have passed, and the other one is that 240 days that the tax has been assessed. So.
Can you? I misunderstood.
I haven't memorized exactly, but if you want to know about it, go King's Discharging Taxes. That's the Bible of the bankruptcy lawyers. King's bankruptcy taxes. I'll put it up on the screen for you. Okay, that's the book I got. King's bankrupting taxes. This guy is a very expert on bankrupting taxes. I recommend that you get his book. Let's see, where is this book? Let's see. King, I can hold that book, okay? Book. Let me get his book. It's a specialty book, okay? Let's see.
Okay.
Here we are. I found it for you. There, look at my screen. There it is, King's Discharging Taxes under the Bankruptcy Reform Act of 2005. There's a book that I got. That's the Bible of anybody who wants to, bankrupt taxes. He gives you all the ABCs how to do it. I got it way back then, and it's still available, I guess, out there. Yeah, I would get that book, and rather than asking me or somebody else about it, you're not even going bankrupt right now.
I know you can discharge taxes. I haven't filed since like 2020, so this would not apply to me. Thank you. I understand what you're saying. No, my question is, if you haven't filed, like I haven't, then in order to file bankruptcy, you have to file the last.
Once you file the last year.
Just the last year?
That's right.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's not what I've been told. Thank you very much. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that. Okay, thank you.
And let me tell you something else, Julia. You can also tell the court truthfully, I wasn't required to file a tax return, and you'll be just fine. Because I'm not having no requirement to file, and have our petitions about income tax. Send your congressman, give it to the bankruptcy trustee. I'm not required to. If I'm wrong, show me, I will. Take that issue to court.
Okay. That, it's not just for me. It's for millions of people. That is excellent. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. Thanks for calling, Julia.
Okay. Thanks. Bye-bye.
You're welcome, Julia. Bye-bye. We have a 928 area code caller, then an 808 area code caller. 928 area code caller, give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Hi, Baymon?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, my name's Kevin, and I actually been following you for a very, very long time. I don't even know how long, probably over 25 years. I just had a question come up. I know that you are very good at publishing all these frivolous claims and these different techniques that people have used over the years. And I wanted to run something past you that I haven't seen on your website that maybe you could clarify for me. I've watched the company for the last 7 years claim that they use a lawful money approach using the 12 U.S.C. 411 claim of lawful money, but I haven't really seen you address that on your website. Can you maybe clarify what that is and how that company's been doing it for, I guess, 7 years now? And because you're probably more exposed to these things than I was. I only learned about it about a year ago.
Well, I brought this on. I looked up online. First, type it in 12 space USC space 411 US code space US code.house.gov. Okay, and the comes up from Title 12, money and banks and banking. Okay, and
lawful money.
Federal Reserve System and the Federal Reserve notes. Okay, so.
Right.
It says Federal Reserve notes to be issued at the discretion of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System for the purpose of making advances to Federal Reserve banks, to the Federal Reserve agents as hereafter set forth, and for no other purpose are authorized. Okay. But that's the part you're not talking about. You want the second part. That's interesting to you. It says the said notes shall be obligated. Hold on, I'm reading it for you. Hold on, stop. Let me read it for everybody else and you. The said notes shall be obligations of the United States and shall be receivable by all national and member banks and Federal Reserve banks, and for all taxes, customs, and other public duties. They shall be redeemed in lawful money on demand at the Treasury Department of the United States, in the city of Washington, D.C., or any other at any Federal Reserve bank. Okay. This law is about you be able to get lawful money by presenting those Federal Reserve notes at the Federal Reserve Bank. It has nothing to do in whatsoever. Okay, now I think what you're talking about here, see these Federal Reserve notes, these are all, guys, Federal Reserve notes. Okay, it says it on the $50 bill I got here with me on the very top center. It says Federal Reserve note. That's what they say. Okay, $100 bill has the same thing on the top right. Okay, Federal Reserve notes, they all say that, okay? So what you're talking about is an argument that you did not earn any money. You earned Federal Reserve notes. No, what's your argument then?
No. The argument is they said when the old money, the actual banknotes prior, did not have a Federal Reserve symbol on it. It only showed the Treasury symbol, and they're claiming that that's lawful money. And when the Federal Reserve symbol was added to the American banknote, it became liable for the tax. And that was the argument I saw on one of the presentations. And
that's a false argument, the last sentence. Where told you that?
Yeah.
That's a false statement.
Well, it was on a website. I sent the information to you because I wanted to just to give you the information so that you could bring it up on your
I don't have
website.
It. When you send us something for me to review here, you need to make sure you call and my staff prints it out for me on my table to go over that. Otherwise, I have not seen that yet. But it's false.
Okay. I just wanted to see because I figured you've seen everything, so I wanted to run it.
I've seen a lot of this kind of stuff. Over 34 years I've been involved with this and heard this kind of arguments. Yes.
Okay.
This has nothing to do with you got paid.
I'll do it again.
Okay. All right, my friend. Yeah, make sure you call. Make sure we have it for the next Freedom Hour if you want to ask questions about it, my friend. Okay, so I can address it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome, my friend. 808 area code caller. You are live with Freedom Law School. Please give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Can you hear me, Payman?
Yes.
My first name is Kai. I'm you from YouTube, but I've been calling past Freedom Hour last couple of weeks. And my question,
what's your first name?
Send an email.
What's your first name?
First name is Kai. K-H-A-I.
Kai, K-H-A-I. I got your pages you sent to me. You're calling back about that because you are on a call with me before, and I said without seeing your paperwork, I cannot understand what you got going on. So you send it to me to see what it is that I can help you with these pages that you sent to me, which is a little bit more than 10 pages, but I'll go over it with you. Is that what you're calling about, Kai?
Yeah. I was calling. I was calling. I got some good news. I want you to update. I think about a month ago, I did initially call about obviously
Kai. Listen, Kai. Listen, I'm an immigrant myself.
Yeah.
And sometimes my accent shows up. Okay. And so I need to slow down so people can hear me better.
Okay.
You have a heavier accent than me. So for the sake of the listeners, please, the one thing you can do is for you especially, you talk a lot slower that you normally do so they can understand you hopefully half as good as me. Okay? Please go slowly again.
I think your document providing an update on my state case that I was dealing with for past month. Did not come upon revenue.
Yes. I have it here in front of me. You want me to go over the paperwork you did?
You want to, if you want to, for the listener, you want.
Okay. You have here the North Carolina Department of Revenue, February 18, 2026, for year 2021. Send you a notice of individual income tax assessment, okay? And then that was after send you previously a notice to file a return. And what you did is you wrote me a letter, I see May 16, 2026. You sent them a letter, okay? That letter appears to be late because you don't, I think you have 60 days or 30 days to ask for a hearing and challenge them. I don't have that at 45 days. That means that you asked from February 18th until early April to send a letter to them to ask for a hearing or a valid challenge of it. And I got a letter from you May 16th, 2026. Okay, that letter is late, okay? And they wrote you back June 3rd, okay? They basically tell you that, hey, you got to file and pay state of North Carolina income tax. It's a form letter signed by A. Foster, Revenue Tax Auditor Supervisor from Central Exam Division, okay? And they'll tell you they will not respond to your future correspondence concerning these issues, okay, or new issues that you present, which the courts, they say, have rejected. So your letter was late. You just objected to their notice of collection. Well, the notice of collection was sent out because you did not ask for a hearing, administrative hearing within 45 days from what you sent me. You should have made a letter sent to them by April 2nd, 2026. Did you do that or not?
So I in that letter, pretty much when they sent me the notice of tax assessment, pretty much I filed an extension because I received the letter mail late. So I didn't provide it in the email, but I did that. And I also wrote them a letter as well with the notice tax assessment. They sent me the notice of collection right after I sent the letter for a notice of tax assessment. And the notice of collection pretty much saying that, hey, pretty much it's the bill for the tax, and if you don't pay within 60 days, we're going to take action. So basically, I wrote a letter to the Secretary of Revenue within 30 days saying that that pretty much to pause on the collection because it was improper based on assessment, and also and since I sent a letter regarding to the tax assessment on time, pretty much I wait for a review from the department.
Kai, hold on. Yeah. Your accent is so heavy, I don't understand what you say. I'll be honest with you. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm not trying to be insulting, but I can tell you is your documentation explains to me what you did or did not do. You wrote a letter May 16th, almost 3 months later. Too late. Your letter, whatever it said, it doesn't matter. You did not, as I told you before, you need to challenge them and ask for a hearing timely. The letter that they send you tells you you have 45 days to challenge their proposal that you owe them about $2,400. You didn't do that. So now the only way to challenge the tax is to pay the tax in full and request a refund in a lawsuit. That tax is $1,641. The only option you have is to don't pay him, leave the state, or pay him and ask for a refund. There's nothing I can do for you, my friend, in this for 2000.
No. I know where you come from. We're going to hearing. After I can request a hearing because I have to went through the department review. Basically, I did send 45 days, but within the 5 extension, that's why I sent a letter for. Yes, originally I didn't send 4 or 5 days, but I sent a request to get 5 extensions that I received the mail late. I didn't put that in the email attachment for tonight.
Hold on, that's not correct. You did not get a hearing. What you sent me, none of it says you got a hearing at all.
No.
Send it to me. Send it to me. Look, the letters you got is June 3rd. They get 2 letters you got, June 3rd. None of them said you got a hearing. So that's not true. Someone lied to you.
No. Pretty much, no. We didn't come to the point here. Obviously, that's what I was looking forward to. But to get a hearing, I have to get a response from the department review. That's why I sent a challenge on the notice of tax assessment. And the letter that you receive on June 3rd is the letter based on the letter I wrote for a tax assessment. And basically, basically on the letter, basically saying that the stuff that I wrote in the tax assessment, and also I wrote a letter in the Secretary of Revenue, which I sent to the department as well as a copy.
Hold on, I'll have to mute you. Hold on, I'm going to mute you. Hey, listen, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be insulting to you in any way whatsoever. But your accent, my friend, is so extra thick, I can hardly understand anything you're saying. And my help around me, they'll look at me like, I don't know what he's saying either. I'm not trying to be insulting. I'm just saying I don't understand what you're saying. So I cannot argue back with you anything because I don't understand what you're saying, my friend, okay? But I'm trying to help you despite that with what you send me. I've looked at it. This is English. I can understand this. And basically, you did not challenge them on time. It's that simple. It's too late. Arguing with me doesn't do any good. I'm not the state of North Carolina. You're trying to convince me of anything. I'm powerless to do anything for you, my friend. I wish I could, but I can't. Okay? So, sorry, I'm not able to help you in this situation. North Carolina is one of the more aggressive states, by the way, as far as state income tax goes. Not as bad as California, but they're so aggressive that they produced a brochure they sent to you, and the brochure says myths about avoiding taxes. They really, I haven't seen states besides California come up with letters like this. This is interesting that they have, because North Carolina really wants money. They're very hungry. Sadly, they become a socialist state. It's a good southern state of North Carolina. Okay, if you have a question, folks, time to call is right now. The number to call is 424-552-1299 and press 1 on your telephone keypad. 424-552-1299 and then press 1 on your telephone keypad. Any questions online before I get to back to the call we had earlier, Tom from area code 941. Any online questions, guys? Otherwise, I can go to to Tom from area code 941. Got any questions there, guys? We're good. Nothing online. Okay. There's a question. The 30%. Okay, from Lanny Collier. I have a question. The 30%, let's see, what happened to it? Got cut off the section. Okay, all right. You have to try it again later on, or does it work? Okay. The 30% membership fee for the Restore Freedom Plan, Lanny's referring to, is that based on gross income or adjusted gross income? It's based upon whatever you would have otherwise paid the IRS. Okay? So if you would have paid the IRS, for example, otherwise $10,000, the Restore Freedom Plan membership would be 30% of that $10,000, which is only $3,000. The other $7,000 of the 10,000 you get to keep for yourself. And that every year that happens that way. Next year, if you had $20,000 you would have otherwise paid the IRS, your membership would be 30% of 20,000, which is 6,000. And the difference between 20,000 that you would have paid the IRS and the 6,000 for the Restore Freedom Plan, that's $14,000. You get to keep for yourself, and we will protect you 100% from anything with the IRS. No jail time, and we do all the legal work. We pay the attorneys. If they ever take your money by force, $10,000, $10 million or more, we will reimburse you in full. So I hope that answers that question for you. Any other question online? There's another one from Smiley3128 says, is it possible to have a one-on-one call with you or your team to talk about not paying no more federal income taxes? My name is Edward. Yes. First of all, you can call us for free at 813-444-4800. Really, our website covers that, my friend, for free for you. You can call that number, 813-444-4800, and just, it's right there for you. Now, if you want a private consultation, okay, you can do that. If you go to our website under Get Help, on the top left area, and then you click on that, it gets you this page that says Get Help. And there, you see, of course, the consultation option is available on the consultation. Okay, you click on the order form right there, and you click on order form in the blue, and the form comes up. Okay, and you can consult with me, which costs more, or with one of my assistants that are trained by me that costs less for you for half hour or 1 hour. Okay, with me it's 1 hour 1,000. With me half hour 600. With one of my trained specialists it's 300 for 1 hour. A lot less. So you can take advantage of that. Half hour with one of my trained experts is only it's $175. So I suggest keep your costs low. Do it for free. Call us at 813-444-4800 first. Then if you want, talk to one of my consultants for 30 minutes to an hour. And then if you really, really want to with me, you can do that, but it costs you more. Okay? So that helps you with that question, my friends. Any other questions online? Nobody is calling for that question. 424-552-1299. If you have a question, press 1. 424-552-1299. Press 1. If you have a question now. Otherwise, I'm going to go and unmute the call from area code 941. Yeah, who has questions about the revocation of election theory that he was in. But before we get back to you, Tom, I want to tell you something, my friend. Okay? A lot of stuff that you say are based upon baseless assumptions you've been told. So before you build a whole tree on this false trunk to begin with, I need to stop you. Because that's a problem with all these baseless legal theories or misunderstandings of the law. They are based upon a misunderstanding of one key fact or two, and based upon one misunderstanding of fact or law, they build this whole tree, which is obviously false. Based upon a falsehood, you cannot build the truthful thing. Okay? So, and before I get to that, I'm going to show you something else about what you said about election. The section that you mentioned, 6103G, okay, and non-resident alien individual, with whom this subsection is in effect for the taxable year, shall be treated as a resident of the United States. Shall be treated as a resident of the United States. What's non-resident alien? What's the United States? Therefore, what is resident of the United States? Let's look it up. Here we go right now. Look at this, Tom. We're going to look up online, 26 space USC space 7701 space US code .house.gov. Okay, comes up the first thing. Okay, definitions. And here we go. Came up. That's right. From Title 26, Internal Revenue Code, Chapter 79, definitions. When used in this title, Title 26, which is what? The Internal Revenue Code, the Bible of the IRS. That online is available now for free. These books, like I'm holding, are no longer published. Over 10,000 pages of tissue-thin gobbledygook, tiny font to confuse you. The definitions are hitting toward the end. Not at the end or beginning, toward the end at Section 7701, so you never look it up. And you just pay your CPA accountant to make you a slave or your tax attorney. Okay? So here we go. So definitions. The term United States, as I covered before, okay, when used in a geographical sense, that's what we want to know, what geography it covers, includes only the states and the District of Columbia, okay? But states shall be construed to include District of Columbia to begin with, when such construction is necessary to carry out the provisions of this title. That's right. So you have state, which is DC, plus DC, that's still only DC. So United States means only District of Columbia. So, what a resident of the United States? A resident of the District of Columbia. See, United States does not mean the 50 states. It's someone from District of Columbia to begin with. In fact, let me show you this thing. Very interesting on the A30. Okay, look at the term United States person. The United States person means a citizen or resident of the United States, which is what? Resident or citizen or resident of District of Columbia. See? B, a domestic corporation. Domestic to what? To the United States, which is District of Columbia. Okay? A domestic corporation. Domestic within District of Columbia again. You see? So it's all about District of Columbia. What's the non-resident alien? Let's go look up what's a non-resident alien. We have that here a little bit also. And we're going to get to that. Okay? Here we go. What's it? Okay. Non-resident alien is a little bit farther down. Okay? That was, you gotta go down. Let's see, they have these long, very specific sections. You gotta go to find the one that applies to you. Where was that section? I don't remember exact section. I have to look it up for you. Let's see. I think maybe that was, did I pass it? Let me check. I may have passed it. So let me check. But basically, a non-resident alien is non-resident and alien to District of Columbia. Here we go. Oh my gosh. B. Woo! You have to go down to find non-resident alien defined. You see how they make this thing on purpose? So confusing, long, but it's all there. You just got to find it and put the pieces together. Woo! B. Definition of resident alien and non-resident alien, okay? For the purpose of this title, Title 26, okay? Resident alien is, and it shall be treated as a resident of the United States. As a resident, okay. Alien is what? Alien with respect to DC. Someone France, Russia, Egypt, California, Florida, Texas, we're all alien. Foreigners to District of Columbia. That's who they're talking about, okay? Non-resident alien is what? Is a non-resident alien if such individual is neither a citizen of the United States nor a resident of the United States. Okay? So, well, very simple. Again, if you're not from a citizen of District of Columbia, nor a resident of the District of Columbia, you are a non-resident alien, which makes anybody from, again, from Germany, China, Russia, Nebraska, Alabama, all the 50 states, non-resident aliens, okay? So as I told you, that whole thing you already talked about is about someone from any place else on Earth, okay, that's married to someone from D.C. and wants to be taxed on the D.C. rate because where they come from, for example, Norway, okay, or Sweden has very high tax rates, Switzerland, okay, whatever that country may be.
Hey, Paimon, can you hold it right there? I listened to the video. I listened to you recite that in the first section. I've hung on patiently to have another moment. Would I be able to focus us back in on the point that we're talking about?
What section was that again?
You're looking at now, I'm going over to the Code of Federal Regulations. So 26 CFR, section 1.871, 1, classification and manner of taxing alien individuals.
But who is the alien to begin with?
Well, it says classes of aliens in letter A, initial section. It says for purposes of the income tax, alien individuals are divided generally into two classes.
Hold on. Go to the regulation one more time. It's 1.871-1, is that correct? Or -7 or 8? What did you say?
Yes, sir.
-1?
1.871-1.
Okay, go ahead. Okay.
Two classes, namely resident aliens and non-resident aliens.
Right.
Resident aliens are in general taxable the same as citizens of the United States, which we know is D.C. That is, a resident alien is taxable income derived from all sources. And then it says non-resident alien individuals are taxable only on certain income from sources within D.C. and on the income described in Section 864C4 from sources without the United States, which is effectively connected for the taxable year with the conduct of a trade or business in D.C.
Correct.
However,
Correct.
non-resident alien individuals may elect under Section 613G or H to be treated as U.S. residents for purposes of determining their income tax liability. So basically, what you're saying the same thing is that but for a non-resident alien that is we call them American nationals to separate it from U.S. citizen, but a citizen of one of the 50 states of the Republic, they're non-resident aliens unless they file a 1040 or some other action. But they don't live in D.C., they don't transact business that triggers this in D.C. Mm-hmm. So how do we get back there to non-resident alien status? And in 1.871.4, just down the road a ways, that is where we can rebut that through an election. So it's in there, rather than reading it to your audience. If we can just look at the section, and we don't have to get into it right this second, but that is where we refer the IRS to go back to, and we're saying, this is the implementation of what was in the code section that you pulled up, that I gave you the site for. And so what we're saying is, and really the caller, the fellow who I had difficulty understanding him as well, you gave him the advice that he did not challenge the IRS in time. Well, that's the very same principle.
That was the state of North Carolina. That was not IRS. That was the state of North Carolina.
Doesn't matter. That principle applies here because you've got the IRS now sending you something they're claiming, hey, you did not file in 2024, and you should
Hold on. I need to correct you. Hold on. I need to correct you. What you said, a lot of stuff was said earlier on was correct, but this is something that was incorrect. I need to correct that, okay? Basically, what happened is that when you look at the law, the regulation that you have on there, I read it with you. We both agree what the word of it says, okay? So the key part is where you say, however, non-resident alien individuals may elect Okay, basically to be treated as U.S. residents for purposes of determining their income tax liability. Okay, that's the core of what it says. So, but here's the thing. When you sign a 1040 form, you don't elect to be treated like that forever and ever, ever. Every single 1040 form is a separate potential tax liability. It's well known by the IRS. Every single year is separate. When you go tax code for year 2018, it has nothing to do with 19 or 20 whatsoever. If you go tax code for 20, 21, 22, it has nothing to do with 23 or 24 at all. So the issue, the misunderstanding is that once you file a 1040, that's the election for you to be forever be declaring yourself under this section regulation you're saying here, to be forever be treated, to be elected to be taxed as a resident, as someone from D.C. But no, that's only for that 1 year that the person signed.
Do you have the code section still up? The 26 U.S. section 11, the one we were looking at before.
Yeah,
Do you have that still up?
701 B, yes. Definition of resident alien.
6013G.
What's
okay,
that?
go down, under G to paragraph 3. It says duration of election.
Well, G of what?
That's 26
the one is
U.S. Code 6013.
Oh, hold
60,
on.
No, that's the code of federal regulation. I'm going back to the code.
Okay, hold on. Well, let me look it up. 26 U.S.C. What's the section?
U.S. Code, USC 6013. Same one. And going down to G.
6013. Okay. 26 is 60 U.S. Code .house.gov. Okay. Let's see 6103. Joint returns of income tax by husband and wife. That's what it seems to be about. Let's see, Mike.
Down to G.
Well, that's not Mike. It came. Okay. Here we go. Joint returns of income tax by husband and wife. Okay. Let's go down to joint returns to G. All right. It's on my screen. Let's go down to G. Let's see. A has no relationship to anything else, does it? No. Okay. All right. A says that a husband and wife may take a single return jointly of income taxes under subtitle A. Okay.
No.
Go down
3,
to G.
Paragraph
Let's
3.
go down to G. Hold on. I'm getting there. It's way down there, G. Okay. Election to treat non-resident alien individual as resident of the United States. Okay. All right. Well, let's see. G. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a
3 is where I'm talking about.
What's that?
3, paragraph 3, duration of election.
3, duration of election, okay. An election under this subsection shall apply to the taxable year for which made and to all subsequent taxable years until terminated under paragraph 4 and 5, okay, except that such election shall not apply for any taxable year if neither spouse is a citizen or resident of the United States anytime during the summer. Okay, that's fine. Here's the thing. The thing is that signing a 1040 form is not an automatic election. What makes you think that it is automatically forever?
What is the downside?
The downside is that you're going to be treated as by the IRS as some tax protester, tax defier, they call that nowadays. And they make $5,000 frivolous filing penalty with the IRS because the IRS, unfortunately, was given power by Congress to do that. $5,000 fine for submitting that to the IRS.
Yes, sir. But do you know of one case where someone who filed a proper revocation of election was prosecuted for frivolous filing?
I'm not aware of it.
That's what I'm saying.
Just like recently, I'm not aware. Recently, anybody going to jail for claiming under common law that they're free?
That's different.
Or sovereign citizen?
That's totally different.
Or capitalist? I'm not aware of it doesn't mean there is one.
Totally different.
I'm just okay.
Totally different.
Listen, if you want to do it, my friend, go ahead. It just said it's even if so, it's not. What does it do? It doesn't do anything for you. What does it do for you?
Again,
you just stop following. That's all you need to do.
It stops the sequence of passive admission by ignoring it. In other words, you get the letter. And I was following your advice by just tossing them in the garbage can, okay?
Yeah.
Until I came across another group saying, well, wait a minute, consider this. And so I spent the last week just going back over everything and being knowledgeable of the sequencing of these automatic letters that go out. The key, like you said, is to always respond.
No,
that is
I never say that. Oh, stop right there. Stop right there. No, stop right there.
No,
that's not correct.
Levy.
I do not say.
You did say that.
No, I do not say that. I do not
demanded.
say always respond. Bring the letters up. Okay. I do not say always respond at all. I've never ever said that. What I do say is when they send you a legal tax proposal called
that's what I'm talking about. When
you charge them a tax
return for you.
What's that?
When they file the return for you, they claim you have a tax liability. You are supposed to, according to what you say, is say, no, I disagree. Just even that slows them down.
Hold on. There's nothing that slows them down if they want to come after you. See, what you got
we're going to have
to
recognize.
Listen, what you got, look, let me explain to you, is classic IRS phishing letters, okay? These are simple phishing letters. The IRS does not file a tax return for you. When you got this L26 letter you got, which is please file your missing returns, that's a simple, dumb phishing letters. IRS does not file the tax return like somebody told you. It's not true. It's a simple phishing letter. Now, when they later on want to send you a notice of deficiency, IRS tricks its own dumb computers, okay? And what they do, they put a return with your name and zeros on the computer to trick it as if you filed a return with no signature, just zero on the 1040 form. And they say, oh, but you did not report your W-2 income of $50,000 or $100,000 you made that year. And based upon that, they issue a notice of deficiency. At that time, yes, you do challenge the notice of deficiency.
And that's what I was referring to.
What's that?
And that was what I was referring to based on your comments on your videos.
What do you mean? You mean referring to what?
When I said that you say respond. In other words, don't ignore it.
No, you don't respond. You go to tax court, you petition a tax court. You challenge the IRS proposal in the tax court.
Why would you do that if you could cut off their jurisdiction before that?
Ah, good question. I'll show you on my screen. 26 space USC 7412. Okay? I got to be a US code.house.gov. Okay? No, 7421. Sorry. 7421, I think. US code.house.gov. The Anti-Injunction Act. Yep, there it is. That's the one. Because what they didn't tell you, my friend, is this horrible law that I hate, that you'll hate. It's Title 26, okay? Prohibition of suits to restrain assessment or collection, okay? Here's what it says. Except as provided in section so and so. Hold on.
What you're doing
my
now
friend.
And what I see on the screen, okay?
What's that?
Just realize we have a time delay between our conversation and then what I see on the screen. Okay?
Well, okay, I understand that. So Section 7421, Anti-Injunction Act, says this, okay? Except as provided in bunch of code sections, okay? There's about a dozen of them, okay? These exceptions. No suit or lawsuit for the purpose of restraining the assessment or collection of any tax shall be maintained in any court by any person, whether or not such person is a person against whom such tax was assessed. Now, you cannot go to stop the assessment, which is determining the amount of tax or collection of a tax, even if they go after the wrong person, your neighbor, for your taxes. He cannot go to court to stop it either, unless one of these about a dozen code sections allows them to do so. So the tax court is one of these code sections. 6212A and C and 1213A. Those are the most common exceptions to challenge the tax. Again, section 6212A, C, and 621213A. These are sections that basically say IRS, if they want to come after you, they have to send you a notice of deficiency. And if you challenge the IRS sufficiency petition in tax court, the IRS cannot in any way take any of your money. If they do, you can tell the tax court judge. Tax court judge will slap the IRS over that whammy. What are you doing? You cannot touch this guy. He is in my court, and he's protected. I'm the U.S. tax court judge. You don't touch him until his tax court case is done. Maybe done in 1 year, 5 years, doesn't matter. You cannot touch him until he's done with my court, no matter how long it takes. If you don't do that, then your only option by default is pay tax in full, sue for a refund. With some exceptions, you may be able to go to the bankruptcy court. Yes. Do you want that? If your house comes out to you for $1 million, do you want to pay it first, sue for it back? Or do you want to, without paying them anything at all, challenge them in court, beat them, make it zero? Which one would you prefer? I agree with you.
I would prefer another option.
There's no third option. Sorry. There's no third option.
There is.
There isn't.
You
Look,
turn off the jurisdiction trap that they have.
Wrong. Let me tell you, you are wrong about that, my friend. Let me tell you something.
Time will tell.
The law of taxation is this. I don't agree with this necessarily. I don't. But that's what law is. They say, look, the rule of taxation is you pay first, litigate or sue about it later. So their claim is that, well, if nobody pays taxes, we got to pay for the police, the sheriff, the courts, the clerks, the buildings, the water bill, the electric bill of the court and jail. We have no government. We have no money at all because they're about to pay, challenge the court. We have no money to pay the court to begin with. So you pay first and get litigate for later. If it's illegal, unconstitutional, no jurisdiction even, you have to pay first and then sue for a refund. However,
not if you take away the fiction.
Hold on. I don't want to mute you, my friend. Hold on. They say, out of our goodness of our heart, we the lawmakers, like Congress of the United States or states, they say, we will give you one chance only, to not pay the tax first and sue for it later. And the federal court is called, after the notice of deficiency is issued, the formal tax proposal, you challenge them within 90 days in tax court. So you do want the tax court to have a jurisdiction to stop the IRS from going to take your stuff. Otherwise, IRS has jurisdiction, if you don't challenge the IRS notice of deficiency, to go forward toward collection and take your bank account and paycheck. You didn't know that. The revocation election people, teachers of you, don't know that.
No.
That's the law.
I do know that. No, I do know that. What I'm saying is stop them before they can create the fiction of jurisdiction after you have made it clear. Well, that's a disagreement in how this process works.
What judge? How are you going to stop them?
You stop them because once you make the... Well, can I finish?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Once the election is made, thousands of folks are finding out that they don't hear from the IRS again. Okay?
Because IRS is leaving you alone anyways. It's not because of the election.
False.
It's because IRS leaves not files alone anyways.
False.
That's a classic false theory of patriots. Oh, I did this, that, the other. I'm in the back of my house. I clap my hand. Say,
no.
Wink my hand 3 times. Eyes. And the IRS
can we have a lower...
I muted you. And they assumed that the IRS left them alone because it denied the IRS jurisdiction by doing... Wink my ass 3 times. Someone told me to do all this stuff, and you deny them jurisdiction. they have to leave you alone. No, they don't. Just because A happened and B followed doesn't mean that's the reason. Just because you're in your back of your house and someone told you if you do that it'll rain, and it did rain, it doesn't mean that it stopped its rain because of what you did. That's a false logic. And that's what they told you about this. Listen, my friend, you are a very kind gentleman. I appreciate your demeanor. Thank you very much. But I'm not here to argue endlessly about these topics, okay? I'm not. I'm going to go home with my family, get some sleep, get to work early tomorrow. Because I've been sleeping a little too much this week, okay? So if you want to do this thing, go ahead and do that. That's your choice. I give you all the facts, all the laws, okay? There's a recorded Freedom Hour. You can go and get online, watch it again. You know, you can see this, understand the Irish progression layers. You know, that document, all this stuff in my course called A Practical Road to Freedom. From Oppressive Taxation and Control Level 1, I explain this stuff in more detail above it. With a level 1 course we have it, guys, on our website where we get that. Okay, call us if you have to, and we'll get you that course. I explain it in more detail. On this topic, would you just ask about the U.S. tax court and jurisdiction? I spent time in detail explaining that. I'm not going to do this on this thing. Sorry, I'm not going to do that because I got other stuff to do. So with that, we have a new caller. It looks like came in, just joined us from area code 626. We'll get to him. And then if anybody has any questions online, we'll address that as well. 626 area code caller, you're live, my friend. Give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Hello, Fremont, can you hear me?
Speak up.
Can you hear me, Fremont?
Yes.
My name's Arthur.
Say it again.
My name's Arthur. I found you on YouTube years ago.
Yes, Arthur. How may I help you?
So very, very interesting conversation today. But I'm going to be the one to tell you, I did the ROE years ago.
Okay.
I haven't paid taxes for about since 2015. Then the IRS took money out of my bank account. So then I did the ROE, but I never heard from them. And now it's been years. I thought they were going to leave me alone. Well, just recently they came after me again and took money out of my bank account.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for taking the time to explain to our caller who was insisting on this thing working, seeing that it didn't work, even though you did the revocation of election, my friend. Thank you for calling for everybody else to see that. Yeah. So
the IRS is ignoring paperwork, and like you say, I believe they can't get to everybody. So, you know, really what's working, as I see it, you got to go to tax court.
Yep. That's why you got to go there. That's your lawful remedy to go challenge these guys. And listen, they don't have enough tax court judges. They have less than 20 tax court judges. A few senior and the judges, they're very, very, very rare, use them rarely. They cannot withstand all these patriots going to tax court. They're bottlenecked already. That's why the IRS does not send notice of deficiencies to more patriots, non-filers, because it's too expensive for them to do so. They don't have enough judges to hear all these cases, okay? So they figure that, look, the slave sheep got away. But let's go after this slave who are into filing and afraid. Okay, that's why I want to end with this, brother. Thank you for calling. I appreciate you, Arthur. With this video,
you know, I'm working, and I don't have a lot of time. But you were still on him. I'm like, oh, let me catch him before he hangs up. And I'll tell you what was so frustrating is after I spent that money, I spent about $5,000, and I called the woman up that helped me. She got mad at me, saying I didn't give her my tax papers that I got in the mail right away, and it's all my fault. I said, how could it be my fault whether I give you the papers right away or not?
I'm a truck driver over the road. I don't go to my P.O. box every day, you know? And I said, the law's the law. Like, you're supposed to help me. Like, what's going on? So this didn't make no sense. She said she wanted to refer me to another guy that works with the IRS to bring the debt down. I said, but I'm going by the law that says I don't have to pay taxes. Why would I agree to try to get this debt reduced that I owe them? That doesn't make sense. I said all the paperwork I filled out was for no reason. Like, nothing's making sense.
Arthur, do you have a question to ask me, my friend? Arthur, do you have a question to ask me, my friend? Another new caller just joined us. What's your question, my friend?
So the question now is, they're coming back after me, and I think the reason why they're coming is because my tax man, he tricked me into making me sign a paper the last time I filed taxes to agree to pay quarterly, estimating taxes quarterly. So I got the letter in the mail saying that I'm breaking my agreement. But I didn't have that information at the time. When I learned this information, I stopped paying taxes.
Okay, stop. You're fine. Just stop filing and paying lawfully. Do the petitions on our website. Send them to your congressman, and you'll be fine for the most part, 99% of the time. If you want to join a Restore Freedom plan, you can do that too. You may want to do a one-on-one private consultation so we can get into your situation specifically, custom made for you. But otherwise, you seem to be doing okay, honestly.
I just don't like them keep going in my bank account.
Then I need to see your paperwork.
Tax court.
You want to do a one-on-one consultation, Arthur, with one of my people, okay, to see what's going on with the bank account, seizures. Get us all of the paperwork, whether it's 20 pages, 200 pages or more. Properly separate each individual document, okay, and give them a quick name. Email it to us with attachments, and or mail it to us in U.S. mail, either way with the payment. And we get on the phone with you right away, look at the documents, speak with you, hear you about what has happened. We can find out what's going on between all this and see what is the best solutions available for you.
Thank you, Paymon. I'll go ahead and call in, make an appointment, or send you information. I'll call and talk to one of your representatives.
You got it. The number to call is 813-444-4800. Again, office number, Freedom Law School, is 813-444-4800. 813-444-4800. So thanks for calling, Arthur. I appreciate you, brother. Let's go to 718. Area code caller, my friend, give me your first name, how you heard about us, and then your question, please.
Hi, my name's Frank. How are you?
Mike, you said, what's your name?
Frank.
Frank. And how'd you hear about us, Frank?
Yes. just off the internet, and so the tax problems that I'm going through right now is so in 2012, what had happened was I had a medical issue, and I took money out of my 401k for my medical issue. Now, I had all the documentation, but I got hit with penalties, and I was trying to fight with the IRS saying it was for medical issues and all this. So my taxes backed up. Now, I still paid taxes every year that I worked, but in 2020, I wound up taking a loan out, $100,000 loan to buy a home, and withheld the taxes. They took all those back taxes that I was fighting them with, and now I owe them $30,000 from the taxes that I took out from 2020. So everything's just like a mess. And I wound up going to one of those, it's not even a debt consolidation. It's one of those places like you hear over the radio, call us and we'll fight for your taxes, which it's been going on 3 years. And then it's so hard to get in touch with them. When they finally call me, they just told me, "Oh, we want you to settle. We spoke to the IRS on behalf of you, blah, blah, blah." and, you know, we're going to come up with a payment plan. I'm like, payment plan? I could have called the IRS myself and did a payment plan. So that's where I'm at right now, and I'm wondering, you know, I want to fight this. I do. So I want the best advice, because I'm saying, do I need a tax lawyer? Do I fight them? I still pay my taxes, don't get me wrong, but this is where I'm at with this. And my question to you is, do I need a tax lawyer?
No. You need to stop filing those 10 for income tax confession slavery forms. You're not a slave to every year under oath sign a piece of paper to your master, to your owner, that he's my fisher of my hard work master. You need to stop doing that lawfully and safely by going through our 7 steps on our website. Okay? 7 steps to free yourself of the IRS. Deception, fear, robbery, and slavery. That's what you need to do. Okay? And then with the money that you don't pay income tax anymore, you have plenty to keep for yourself. And then you can pay him if you want to, $100 a month or every couple of months or more or less here and there or not. It's up to you. Okay? IRS is in a state of collapse. Forced collection of levies are down by over 90%. I showed that earlier during the Freedom Hour. Okay? So if you want to pay him, you can't pay him on your own anyways. You don't have to have anybody rip you off like these people did. Oh, you can make a payment plan. Well, like you said, you could have done it yourself. Pay him or not. But by having not filed paying tax lawfully, you build up your savings. If they take your money, okay. You have some money saved up, you'll be okay. You buy some gold, some maybe silver, maybe some crypto, so you can pay them on your own as much as you can properly afford when you want to do it, or pay them in full. If you have a rate to pay them in full, you can do that. That's up to you. But it's not going to be a surprise to you that you don't obviously want that would be disruptive to your life.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm just looking for the best advice, what to do.
That's
about
it. I just gave it to you. It's the best advice given your situation. You owe the IRS how much? $30,000 you said still? How much is it?
Yeah, 33, and it's going up because
it's not that much.
Is obviously,
listen, did you hear my call a couple hours ago when I was doing it, over 2 hours ago? Did he call in?
Yeah.
You listened to it?
Yeah.
You did it? I got a guy that came to me, had over $800,000. $800,000 owed by the IRS. And guess what? The IRS left it listed in the computers as uncollectible. Do not pursue. Don't levy his bank account or paycheck or nothing. IRS is a broken agency. They're not even levying people's bank accounts much. They're doing it some, but nowhere like they used to be. They have collapsed that by over 90%. So save is what I would say, and pay him if you want to here and there, as much as you can afford to.
Okay.
But don't file 10 for income tax confession form by studying the law. Follow the law on our website. Okay? Watch a 10-minute video step 1 based on the official legal websites of U.S. government.
Okay.
No law requires 99% of Americans to file and pay income taxes. You need to verify that by yourself, for yourself, that you are free, no longer a slave. Now, with that money you get to keep that you used to pay to your former master, now that you're a freed slave, your situation will be much better. You can afford to pay the IRS off if you want that $30,000 a little bit at a time without it hurting you and having you end up being homeless on the street. Okay?
Thank you, Tom. I'm going to definitely look with you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. My pleasure, my friend. Thanks for calling. The online question from MAPJ9WF. Can Paymon list all the taxes we don't have to pay, such as, yes, I'll be happy to tell you. You don't have to pay federal income taxes, federal payroll taxes. Capital gains is a form of income tax, so no tax on gold, silver, commodities, crypto, stocks, bonds, real estate, rentals, none of that stuff, okay? No corporate income taxes, no estate taxes, no gift or inheritance taxes, no generation skipping taxes. So those are all federal. No gambling taxes, federal gambling, or gun manufacturing taxes. Okay, none of those apply to people of the 50 states. I haven't focused on the other ones because how many people do those things? In fact, I learned about gun manufacturing taxes not applying to people in 50 states because a former policeman in Florida came to me and says, Pam, I'm going to pay for your time, verify for me. I don't have to pay for gun manufacturing taxes. Based on what you say, I looked it up. And I looked it up for him, and I verified for him. I said, oh, you're right. But how many of you manufacture guns happen to use that, do a seminar on that topic? But all those areas, as I said, they don't apply to you. I did a video on corporate taxes. You don't have to pay that. I did a video on estate taxes. And the other taxes, generation skipping tax, inheritance tax, gift taxes, they're all just like estate tax. You don't have to pay those either. So hopefully that gives you a more complete understanding of these things, okay? And then Lanier Collier says, let's see, in a nutshell, you owe no tax on anything except maybe sales tax. With that said, there are certain exemptions from sales tax as well. I just made it easy for you. Well, first of all, let's bring state tax on my screen. State tax is a different issue. America's not a country. We are 50 countries, 50 states, plus one. Every state in America is a country like in Europe. You have France, Germany, Italy, they're countries. So is Florida, Texas, California. They're all countries. Okay. So 8 states like Florida do not have a state income tax at all. But the other 40 states claim to have one. Of these, okay, the ones in this map you see in front of you, okay, state income tax map, the green ones don't have a state income tax at all. The rest they claim they do. The red ones have the state income tax independent of the federal law and definitions and forms. So those states like Pennsylvania, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, you have to pay state income tax. The other ones, because they follow federal law, definitions, or forms, you don't have to pay state income tax either. And because America is 50 countries, just like Germany, France, Italy, your welfare, your police, your sheriff, the courts, roads, schools are paid by your local property taxes, sales taxes, DME taxes, okay, gas taxes, okay, alcohol, tobacco taxes. All these taxes, DME taxes, these are paid for your needs of safety of you in your state and county and city. Those you do have to pay. The empire taxes in D.C. who waste your money in wars and bank bailouts and corruption and graft and criminality and waste, you don't have to pay those, because that was not the intent of America's founding fathers. They deceived you. They suckered you to believe, I'm going to pay federal income tax. Otherwise I'll go to jail. Oh, they take all my money, all my bank account, my home, my paycheck, everything. Oh, my CPA accountant says, don't listen to these guys. You get in trouble. Oh, I'll listen to my CPA accountant, to be safe. That's how they got you to be a slave, along with the corrupt mainstream media. So you're good. So start living free. Does that help our question? Does she have another question? Okay, Lanier Collier is good. Okay, property tax is owed until that changes. Yes, property tax is a foundational tax that built America. Go watch your favorite Western movies or television series. People go in the West. In an area they go, stakes of land, 1870s the Westerns are made, about those years, right? And all the farmers, ranchers, everybody was farmer at the time. What did they do? They all paid a little bit of a property tax to pay for their sheriff's salary, maybe a deputy or two, or a part-time prosecutor and judge that served several counties. The guy would have 100,000 acres, paid a lot less than the guy that had only 100 acres. but they all paid so little because we didn't have all the socialist communist programs like welfare and this and that, the other stuff. No, they just kept you safe from bad guys. There was only property tax. It was so small. Okay. Nowadays you have all this socialist communist money transfer businesses that that's what even property taxes are higher than it should be, of course. Okay. Okay. Now John Bradley tells you have to open a private trust to somebody. No, John. Nobody needs to open a private or trust to begin with. There's no need for what's a private trust? They're always private. Trusts are always private by definition. Why to open a private property tax? I don't know. You don't need to trust necessarily. If you have a need for estate planning, yes, get some trusts to avoid probate. If you have a legitimate business need to set up LLCs, limited liability company or corporations, please do so. If you do deep sea skydiving, deep sea fishing, or diving, or parachuting, you better have a corporation LLC. You have a high liability business. But for taxes, you don't need to do any of these games and gimmicks at all. But for proper legitimate business or estate planning purposes, if you need to create an entity, please do. You should do them in the proper circumstances. Okay? But you don't need them for taxes. We protect you with our Restore Freedom Plan. 100% from the IRS. 100%. If they ever take your money, guess what? Freedom Law School will reimburse you in full. Not only you don't go to prison, but if they ever take anything of yours, we'll reimburse you in full. Okay? That's our program, and it works. All right? Okay. Let's see. Number to call is 424-552-1299. Press 1. 424-552-1299. Press 1 if you have a question now. Okay, any more questions? All right, okay. Let's see. So Lanier, Collier, you're right. States does not include the 50 states of the Union. That is correct. We are 50 states in a union, just like a European Union, with Germany, France, Italy being only 3 countries in the union over there. We have 50 countries here in this union. That's why the corona hoax lockdowns, mask up, was done state by state, country by country. Country California and New York had severe lockdowns. Country Florida had very little bit of lockdowns, and they got rid of it altogether very soon, right? Because the federal government has no legal power jurisdiction in the states except those 18 specific things that were given to them. Common defense, common foreign relations, common money, common immigration rules. Those 18 of those little things. That's it. We are countries in America. 50 countries. Okay? All right? Let's see. No more questions, brothers and sisters? Listen. Thank you for being with me. I love you all, and I wish you all peace, freedom, prosperity, joy, and love with your family and your friends. You can have it all if you seek the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Where? At Freedom Law School. Go there, and you can never again voluntarily pay the DC swamp safely and legally. And all you gotta do is click on the gold bar, start at 7 easy steps to regain your power and freedom, and you'll be on your way to freedom, and tell others you love about freedomlawschool.org. And I wish you all the very best of love, joy, and happiness. Thank you for being with me.